Okay, I'm just waiting for more people to come on. Let's work on this face a little bit more. Getting somewhere. Definitely been drawing a lot more lately, which makes me happy. Just waiting for more people to come on. Hey guys. Right now I'm just drawing a groundhog. I was just drawing a fawn, a little baby deer before this, but this is the beginning stages of a groundhog. It was highly requested, so I don't know what it is about groundhogs, but people like it for some reason. So I'm focusing in on the nose and the mouth area first, after doing the eyes, of course. If you have any questions, let me know too. So this is all in color pencil. The only thing that I use outside of color pencils are things like a blending solvent and then a couple of different tools, but it's all one medium. And yes, it could take hours to complete, but I love every bit of it. So you've used color pencils but don't know how to blend. Yeah, it definitely takes time to grasp how color pencils work because they're so different than any other art medium. There's definitely different techniques that you can use to blend, but the one thing that I highly suggest is finding the right kind of paper and pencils first. So Bristol vellum paper, or just vellum paper in general, is really flexible with color pencils. So if you can find vellum paper, you can get it online or you can get it at a local art store. I highly suggest getting that one. And then color pencils, you can use Prismacolor or higher up ones, but Prismacolor is definitely a good budget friendly option. And then layering, you can watch some of my videos and just kind of see, okay, how does layering work? But really what I like to do, which took some time to figure out and realize, is don't work so much on the details just yet. Kind of focus in on the base colors. So you can see here I used like quite a bit of some lighter ivory and cream colors to start as my base, and then I will start to use a little bit of some blends of different tone colors, like warm tone or cool tone. So like the blues, I will add a little bit of blue in some of these areas that I see some cool tones in. And what that does is it kind of helps to create a good sense of depth. I always say use a variety of different colors, and just like don't be afraid to try out different colors. But it is a matter of having the patience to keep going, but don't worry about and frustrate yourself so much over the details just yet. So the first 5 layers, I'd say, are going to be very abstract. And then as you start to build up your layers, then you can start to work on the details. So really when I don't see the tooth of the paper nearly as much is when I start to add the details. Not always, but that's definitely a good reference idea. So, and the tooth of the paper, you can see it looks like a sketch still. That's what I'm talking about, those little white holes in between the colors. So you can see I have a bunch of color pencils in my left hand, and then I will pick up which one I need as I'm going along. It just works a lot faster that way. So if you want to work fast paced, that's definitely a good idea. And then you can see I'm not adding detail too much, but I am trying to draw in the same direction as the fur. That way, as you build up the layers, it's not going to conflict with the details of the fur later on. You'll still be able to see that direction of the fur, so you don't want to mess with the direction too much. But I always say start with light pressure, with lighter color pencils first, and then use darker pencils as you're building up with heavier pressure. And you do want to, what did I say? Make sure you're drawing in the same direction, but also avoid drawing anything in the highlights for a good while before you start adding any detail to the highlights. Just kind of, work around those areas. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Like you can see here, I'm adding a little bit of some detail, like drawing short strokes. And I will do that still, but I'm not focusing too much on the details. Not just yet. This is just kind of to get texture incorporated. And it really depends on the type of, fur that you are drawing to. We'll just look at the lighting. Look at where the light's coming in from and what's shaded, what's darker in some areas and what's lighter. And do your best to draw a little bit heavier in the more shaded areas and a little bit lighter in the others, and that'll have a really huge component to your portrait. Oh, let me see if I can get more focus here. See if that works. Why do I draw? Why do art? I think it's a form of expression in a way, and I feel like human beings, in order to live and thrive, I feel like we need to express ourselves, be creative. And it doesn't necessarily have to be art, like art mediums and whatnot, but being able to express ourselves is very key to survival, in my opinion. And I think it really helps to kind of, for me, it helps me process my, I'm not going to say necessarily it processes my emotions per se. I really don't like this eye. It's getting better. At least I think it is. Yeah, so I'm focusing a lot on the detail when I don't need to be. Not yet, at least. But I'm trying to get the shape down. That's what I'm worried about. I will say the proportions, drawing proportionately is very important. And you learn to draw proportionately over time. It definitely takes time to let that become second nature to you. I'm going to add a splash of color, a little bit of some red in there. Oh yeah, that's looking good. I am definitely focusing too much on the detail. I'm going to add some more blue tones. Okay. Then I'm going to do the same around the mouth. I didn't finish his mouth. I probably should. Try not to be all over the place, but it always ends up happening anyway, huh? There really is no set instructions on how to draw with color pencils, but there are some really helpful things that can help make it easier to draw. But the number one thing I always say is draw light first. Don't focus so much on getting the details with heavy pressure until you know you've got several layers built up. That didn't look so good. Well, we got this. It's definitely looking better. Once you have a section complete, it looks a lot better overall. Keeps my motivation going when I have complete one section at a time. So these lines need to kind of be at a consistent angle, which I'll admit is kind of difficult. It goes all the way up. Okay. I'm adding some warm color in here again. Now I'm adding a little bit of some blue. It's not blue, but it's like Payne's gray, so it's got this grayish blue color to it. You can already see the difference. It's looking good, I think. Okay, I'm gonna add white. White is really good for burnishing. It kind of like sets in stone the drawing that you made already. And then I'm going to do some mineral oil. This may have ruined it, but that's okay. It can be fixed. See how it like saturates it? This is going to really help add more details. What do you think so far? Think it looks pretty good? I'm adding a little bit of this vibrant lilac color. I'm just playing around right now, just adding some different, oh, what do you call it? Like spicing it up a little bit. Spicing it up. We'll see if that works. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the ears. Try to get that going. I'm gonna go ahead and do dark first. Normally I don't, but I think this is just kind of one color, maybe two at all. I mean, time flies when I'm drawing. It used to not. It used to drag out, but now because I barely get to draw, it's just, oh, I love it. Time flies when you're having fun. Add a nice little, whatever you call this, French gray. Tone it down a little bit. I need to make this one a little bit bigger. Okay, that looks better. What do you think now? You think that looks pretty good? Thank you. Hopefully it is staying in focus for you guys. Saw somebody was saying that it wasn't focused in the beginning. Now I'm going to add a little bit more detail. Not a little bit, quite a lot. It's time to add a lot of detail. You know what I'm not using? Just a regular gray color pencil. This is a really good mid-tone color. Kind of like a good filler in a way. Oh yeah, that's looking better. Time for the detail. So because this was requested, I'm drawing this, and then after this, I'm going to draw a Highland cow, but I haven't told anybody that, so keep it a secret. Don't tell anybody yet. That's another highly requested one. Okay. Let me know what you think. How's everybody doing? You getting bored yet? Yeah, these lines are just a pain in the butt. Okay. Keep going with the details. I'm using a dark sepia for a lot of the details instead of black, because you can really tell it actually adds a nice bit of texture and detail in here without it being that flat black color. It's just a really, really dark brown. That's looking good. And see, I'm leaving room for the highlighted parts, because with color pencils you can't just draw white on top of the dark. It doesn't work like that. Alright, what I need to do is use probably, what is that, sepia 10%? Do a little bit of blending. It's kind of a purpley color, but it looks gorgeous on this portrait. Look at that. Tell you what though, it's fun talking about this stuff. Talking about the process, really. Alright, let's get on this side a little bit. I'm gonna kind of outline that so I don't mess up and go into it too much. I want those cheeks to be nice and chubby. What animal is my favorite? Well, I really like birds. Not any specific one, but I love drawing them. I love hearing the sounds of birds and watching them as well. I've really been getting into cows quite a bit lately too. I didn't think I'd ever be into cows, but here I am, like, obsessing over cow print, and I'm gonna be drawing a Highland cow because I already have a dairy cow printed. Well, not printed. I don't know if it's a dairy cow. It's just a regular cow. A brown cow. That's what it's called. What's interesting is that I kind of learn about animals, the animal that I'm drawing, as I'm drawing it. And there's like all sorts of new facts and stuff that I learned later on, during and after. So there's quite a bit of some orange tones and a little bit of some red tones in here. So I'm going to incorporate that. Just see, I'm still working on abstract at this point. And yes, I'll add more detail to this. I'm just kind of taking a break, moving on first. Maybe I need to add some of the orange up here. Add some blue. Now as I'm adding more of these tones, I'm losing some.
You know where Roger got these rocking chairs out front?
Walmart.
Walmart?
Yeah.
You have to put them together too.
Yes.
That's all I got.
Sorry about that. I'm still at work. My other job. Got some hair sticking out. There we go. What do you think so far? I think it's looking pretty good, like a groundhog. Let's fix that. I really hate it when I see the tooth of the paper coming through. Sometimes I can't do anything about it. I've thought about doing like drawing ASMR. I'm not sure if it'll work very well. I've got a mic, but you know, there's always going to be a little bit of background noise going on. So, I don't know. Let me know what you think. This eye is driving me crazy. I might have to fix that eye later. Let me add more brown. Yeah, tell me, comment, yes or no if you would like to watch and listen to drawing ASMR, hearing the pencil scratches going. Because I'm curious if you guys would be interested or not. Yeah, it's getting a lot better now. I'll get those nice big chubby cheeks going. And then I see a lot of this color around the outside. I'm getting pretty far. Okay, I'm gonna add some blue right in here. And then I think I'm gonna use right here. It's not round enough. That looks better. This area's got all sorts of different colors in it. You know, it's just a matter of not being so caught up in the details and worrying about it being perfect. I for sure was that way for a very long time, and now I've learned to just trust myself, trust the process, and get into the moment of it. And it does take a little while to build up, I would say, confidence. I think somebody had described confidence as something that naturally occurs over lots and lots of practice of something. Like, confidence is not just built in right away. It's something that ends up happening as you do that thing more and more and more. And I totally agree with them. I definitely didn't have confidence in the beginning, but I started to develop confidence over time because of the amount of practice that I had and figuring out the techniques that work for me. And getting to hear people's opinions is also another one. That's why I love doing markets. Really could just keep going on. I usually like to draw about an hour, hour and a half at a time if I can. I don't always get the opportunity though. Would you guys like to watch me at the markets too? Because I did it last weekend. I went live and it was pretty cool. But not a whole lot of people watched it. So, I don't know. Guess I have to just give it time to build up. Okay, I'm gonna use mineral spirit oil again. So it also blends the detail in there. It's okay. If it looks a little messy, it's okay. Some small mistakes can be fixed. Not everything, but once you work with colored pencils, you'll know what you can and can't fix. You can see on this right hand side, it's darker. That's because this is where the shading is, so the sun's on the other side. Look at how nice and detailed and smooth that is. This is turning out really good. I'm gonna add some blue. I'm gonna be done here in just a minute. Really want those eyes to pop. What do you think? Looks like it popped or no? Okay. All done. I'll see you probably tomorrow.